Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasairos. I talk about politics, sports, and entertainment to keep you well rounded. What's going on around the world? If you don't like hearing the truth, definitely don't tune into this channel. I just want to get into today why ESPN is unwatchable, and it's because of ESPN hosts like Joy Taylor. Never mind racist Ryan Clark and Stephen A. Smith, the clown. You have somebody as hateful as Joy Taylor. And for all of you that don't know, she really despises white men in general, especially old white men. You hear her comments about Bill Belichick and Aaron Rodgers. She was married to a white guy named Richard Giannotti, and she was having affairs with Emmanuel Ocho, Charlie Dixon, Skip Bayless, and a whole bunch of old white guys that have money and that give her promotions. Go figure. I don't know why anybody would date this woman in a million years. She's one of the most hateful, racist women on all of TV. And you even hear black ESPN commentators who don't work there anymore say the same exact thing. Her brother-in-law is Zach Thomas, the middle linebacker from the Miami Dolphins, the Hall of Famer. She is so ignorant and she is so arrogant. She would probably tell Zach Thomas, the only reason why you're in the Hall of Fame is because of your white privilege. She makes ESPN unwatchable. She's in about 3 different lawsuits for having sexual relationships with people at ESPN. She has no shame at all. She's an absolute disgrace. She constantly hates Bill Belichick, one of the greatest coaches to ever play the game. And we all know how she hates Aaron Rodgers because he's a straight white male and he's conservative and he's an anti-vaxxer. So she takes shots every chance she gets. But you know what's funny about her comments right now about the Pittsburgh Steelers? She doesn't have any problems with George Pickens. The guy for the last 3 years that's been tearing up the locker room, causing locker room strife with the players, doing these types of gestures, hurting his team every chance he gets. She don't have a problem with him. She don't have a problem with Russell Wilson telling the media or having his team tell the media the only reason why he's playing like garbage is because Coach Tomlin doesn't let him audible out and he's blaming everybody, causing internal strife. Meanwhile, the whole Pittsburgh Steelers organization wanted Russell Wilson gone because of his locker room behavior, but she don't have a problem with that. Go figure. I wonder why that is. I wonder why, Joy. She's the type of person, she definitely hates white people, but she's the type of person, anybody that has money and power and can make her career go further, she'll sleep with you. She has no shame. She didn't get her job because she's a good sports analyst whatsoever. She's not a good analyst. That's all she does. She's another race baiter. She makes ESPN unwatchable. And of course, they just let her keep doing her thing and bring her, Stephen A. Smith, racist Ryan Clark. They have totally destroyed ESPN. That's why their ratings are in the toilet bowl. So let's watch Joy Taylor's ridiculous take on Aaron Rodgers.
Good to have you here. What are your expectations for Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers?
Honestly, the same as they would be if he wasn't there. Mike Tomlin is going to be battling himself in NFL history to have a non-losing season. But we assume the Ravens and the Bengals are going to be at the top. And so that's what I think it's going to be. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Baltimore, then the Steelers. I don't see Aaron Rodgers moving the needle. And I'm just going based off of what I saw last year in his last year in Green Bay. You look at the Jets, they had a really good receiver in Garrett Wilson. Steelers have a really good receiver in DK Metcalf. Mm-hmm. Good running back in Breece Hall. Good running back in Jaylen Warren. Offensive line, let's just say it's a push. The Jets may be slightly better. I would think, and many people would say, the defense very comparable when Salah was a head coach. So
this idiot, TJ Houshmandzadeh, is really trying to compare the New York Jets, the worst organization on the planet, to the Pittsburgh Steelers as far as stability and everything else. This is what this clown wants you to believe, that the Pittsburgh Steelers, with a top 10 defense, would have been top 5 if they had any offense, one of the most stable organizations in the entire NFL. And this idiot wants you to think that the Jets and the Steelers are the same and nothing will change with Aaron Rodgers becoming a Steeler. It'll be the same old story. This is what this moron wants you to believe. Gee, I wonder why you're saying that.
What's going to be the difference? If the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers have a good season together, that means Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith are way better coaches than anything in New York. That's all that's going to tell me.
Really? So that's what it is? Aaron Rodgers, the same Aaron Rodgers that's coming off an Achilles tear. Those things are very tricky. Towards the end of last year on the Jets, he played outstanding because he started to get healthier as the season went on. He threw for 28 touchdowns, threw for 4,000 passing yards, had just as good numbers as Josh Allen. But if Aaron Rodgers plays good, it's only because of Coach Tomlin. And this is the same moron when things go bad. He'll say, oh, it's Art Rooney's fault. It's the old white guy's fault that picks the players. It's not Coach Tomlin's fault. But when things go good, oh, it's only because of Coach Tomlin. It's not because of Aaron Rodgers. I wonder why you're saying that. See, this is what makes ESPN unwatchable. Did you look at Aaron Rodgers' stats from last year? Because he had a hell of a season on a horrible team.
That's just going to tell me that the Jets' offensive coaches last year were that bad that Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin has basically turned Aaron Rodgers around. But my expectations, third in the division, I believe they don't make the playoffs. Too many really good young teams. The Texans are going to be much better. If Tua can stay healthy, the Dolphins are going to be better. The Patriots are going to be better. I don't believe it moves the needle, not for me.
Jets will be better. What are your expectations, Paul?
Man, before I saw the
She's got to throw that little dig in there. Jets will be better because the white quarterback left, and now they have Justin Fields. She knows nothing about sports, nothing. She's a complete racist moron idiot that only has her job because she checked a couple of the right boxes. That's it. And she constantly takes digs. Again, no problems with George Pickens at all. No problem with Russell Wilson at all. Go figure. I mean, just the fact that she doesn't have a problem with George Pickens tells you everything you need to know.
schedule, I didn't really have high expectations, but
Like, look at this idiot. What's with the purple in the hair, and on the eyelashes? Are you celebrating? Is that your support for Pride Month? I'm confused.
when I look at what Russ did for them,
Yeah, the beard and your hair look great.
I asked myself, is Rodgers today better than Russ? It's close.
Is this clown kidding me? What Russell Wilson did for the Steelers? He was absolutely horrible. Do you even watch the games? Do you watch the games? Because obviously not. Because if you took Aaron Rodgers and you put him on the Steelers team last year with a top 10 defense, a top 5 defense, and the weapon, we're making the playoffs and winning our first playoff game in a long time. Russell Wilson was absolutely atrocious. He was so one-dimensional, he couldn't even throw the ball down the field. Do you even watch the game as ESPN analysts? Because obviously not, because your ignorance is like out of this planet.
It's close,
Yeah, okay.
but I just look at it like this. Rodgers took this long to sign. He finally was contemplating retirement. If things don't start off well for Pittsburgh,
Is that what it is? Do any of you know anything? Aaron Rodgers was completely upfront. People in his inner circle had cancer, moron. That's what the problem was. And if you did any research instead of just basing it off of color and ethnicity, you would know that. And you would know that Aaron Rodgers has been upfront the entire time with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So instead of bashing him, maybe you should be praising him for not being selfish and taking care of his family.
it can go downhill fast. But if they get off to the good start based on what the schedule I'm looking like at, you got the Jets. You could probably get that. Seattle, New England, Minnesota, you could go into the bye 3-1. Possibly, but man, this is a tough one. I think he's going to make them respectable. I think Rodgers has something to prove. You got to understand, he's a 4-time MVP.
He's afraid to say it because Joy will be like the bulldog, like, I'm going to get you now. You disagreed with me. Because you see the nasty, she's just a nasty person. She's just nasty. And you'll see the nasty look on her face if anybody has anything positive to say about Aaron Rodgers.
You're a Super Bowl champion. And when you're going out, you want to go out on your high horse. I think he's going to have a pretty good season. I expect them to continue the playoff run. At first I didn't, but now I look at the schedule and I see it. I expect them to continue their playoff run, and I expect Rodgers to eventually get Pittsburgh out of the first round.
Yeah, I disagree. Although he doesn't technically work there yet. I'm very appreciative to the internet for informing me of that. I was only, of course, going off of the month-long report that he was eventually going to sign. So now we finally got here. Although he still hasn't.
Hey, Joy, why don't you stick to what you know, sleeping with executives and sleeping with all these white men that you hate? That's what you should stick to. Because when it comes to sports or the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, you know absolutely nothing what goes on except for your hate for Aaron Rodgers because you're a hateful, disgusting person.
Officially signed yet. Reportedly, allegedly, he
Yeah,
will
you're
be
so
a Steeler
cool.
tomorrow, which is
Trash.
why I was a little bit confused as to why he wouldn't have taken the extra time to be in the building, you know, meet with some
Can you imagine being this trashy and making the amount of money she makes for just being a hateful, trash person?
of the coaches, meet his teammates, you know, kind of get affiliated with the organization, maybe the training
He's going to do that
staff.
next week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
time doesn't matter at all. None of these things really matter. You know, anything extra to give you an edge when you're trying to go and win playoff games in the
First of all, idiot, a mandatory minicamp for veterans hasn't even started yet. So she knows nothing about football. She doesn't know anything. The hands going. She's just disgusting.
AFC with an organization that you have never played for, with coaches in a system that
Click
you've
your
never played
nails
in.
next.
I mean, who needs extra reps? I mean, who cares about that? So
You see her sarcasm? Who needs some extra reps? Who's sleeping with everybody at ESPN? Who cares about that? How you still have a job, I don't even know, because there's sex scandals breaking out left and right because you slept with like 5 different people at ESPN. But hey, who knows, right? Oh, yeah. Let's listen to Joy Taylor.
really don't care that Aaron Rodgers is with the Steelers. I don't think it makes any difference at all. I think he's better than Mason Rudolph, I think, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Is he? Because he's basically the same statistically as Russ was last year.
No, and Aaron Rodgers was not even close to what Russ was statistically last year. And she probably didn't even watch one Steeler game where every time Russ took the field, the offense just shrunk down. No defense was on their heels whatsoever. And we were so one-dimensional and we could not do anything. The Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoff game didn't get their first down of the game till the third quarter against the Ravens. But this moron wants you to believe that Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson are exactly the same. Okay. The only reason why the Jets were competitive last year is because of Aaron Rodgers, and they have the worst head coach and organization in the entire league, where Aaron Rodgers had to be the quarterback, the coach, and the coordinator.
He was with a team that had a ton of young talent, which we are very excited about this year, with essentially the same talents that they had last year, except for a great new tight ends. And he went 5-12 last year, 5 games. He hasn't won a playoff game since 2020. He missed the playoffs his last year in Green Bay, and he's coming off of an Achilles.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't won a playoff game since 2020. Well, that's funny because the Steelers haven't won one in 9 years. But hey, no big deal. Just blame the white guy. Come on. He's an anti-vaxxer. She thinks he's conservative. So we all know what this is.
Injury of which he had surgery in September of 2023. He'll be 42 years old in the middle of this season. I think this will be the first year that Mike Tomlin doesn't have a winning season. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. I don't think that they'll be competing for the division because I think that will go to the Cincinnati Bengals and Lamar Jackson's Ravens. And I really don't understand why the bar is in hell for the Steelers. I don't understand why this is the plan. I don't know why this was the only option. You had Russell Wilson in the building. You had Justin Fields.
She's still talking about Russell Wilson like Coach Tomlin, who you stick up to no end for. He didn't want Russell Wilson because of all the garbage he was pulling in the locker room. And yes, Aaron Rodgers is the best bridge till we find our next quarterback, and Coach Tomlin knows this. And she's still talking about Justin Fields. Justin Fields didn't want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. They wanted him to stay. He didn't want to stay. You know why? Because Coach Tomlin handled the entire situation wrong. When Russell Wilson struggled last year, they would not put Justin Fields in the game at all. And he said, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with Coach Tomlin. So instead of blaming everybody else, blame Coach Tomlin for that. But she would never do that because why would she do that when she could just blame the white guy? Hey, it is what it is. This is what it is. Let me know when I'm lying.
In the building, and now we have a 1-year option 41-year-old who will be 42 midseason to do what?
But to me, when you say all of that, they had Russell Wilson. They didn't want him. They had Justin Fields. They didn't want him.
Steelers didn't want Justin Fields? Does he know what the F he's talking about? Yeah, they didn't want Russell Wilson because of all the garbage he was doing in the locker room like he did at Seattle. See, this is why they shouldn't even be allowed to talk about the Steelers. But hey, let's just make it up as we go along. This is why ESPN is unwatchable.
This may be Mike Tomlin saying, watch me go to work. This
May be Mike Tomlin
saying, I'm going to prove to y'all how great of a coach I am.
But we already know that. He's had winning seasons with Duck Hodges. Not to
what I'm saying is,
but like we don't need him to prove anything.
If Aaron Rodgers
Joy, you never throw shade, right, girl? Yeah, okay.
Plays well with the Pittsburgh Steelers, nobody thinks he's going to play well. Nobody.
I think the Steelers think he's going to play well.
No, the Steelers think he's going to play well, better than the options they had.
Yeah.
They think he's better than the options.
They think he's better than Justin Fields. They think he's better than
Russell Wilson. They think he's better than Mason Rudolph.
Here they go again. You know anything? The Steelers wanted Justin Fields. They wanted him to be the guy. He didn't want to be there. He left. They didn't want him to leave. But she was, of course she doesn't know that because she's an idiot.
To me, this is Mike Tomlin being able to prove that I'm not just a defensive coach. I'm a football coach.
Oh, here we go.
I can work on the offensive side of the ball also. Because I think that's going to be very critical.
Can he? Because Coach Tomlin hasn't developed one quarterback since he's been there. Not one. So how is he an offensive guy, Houshmandzadeh? Why are you saying that, Houshmandzadeh? Because Coach Tomlin has been absolutely horrible with bringing up the offense. And he's known as a defensive coach. And guess what? Multiple players online that have played against the Steelers just say that the Steelers defense has been doing the same thing for the last 18 years. And every time they played the Steelers, they knew they would have their biggest games. But this would mean that you would have to do your job unbiasedly, not based on race. And you would actually have to do your job the right way. But obviously, you're not capable of that.
Was how he relates to Aaron Rodgers. Their relationship. Rodgers is who he is. He's had so many things done his way. I want to put this in the game plan. I want this to be in the playbook. I want to do this way. How does that mesh with Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith?
Just like every other quarterback in the league, when they ask for the install and quarterbacks say, yeah, I like this, I don't like that. But it's only a problem for Aaron Rodgers. Go figure.
How is that going to mesh? And so if they are fortunate enough or lucky enough, whatever you want to call it, good enough to have a season that surprises many, for me, Mike Tomlin, it makes him look that much better as a coach. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to pull what he's pulled in years past with his coaches with Mike Tomlin.
Oh, I disagree. I don't think he's going to change at all. I think there will be some point in the season.
So Mike Tomlin going to have to change here.
No. Mike Tomlin's very good at dealing with lots of different types of personalities. He's proven his ability to do that over the years. I don't think that we will get through an entire season of Aaron Rodgers with the Pittsburgh Steelers drama-free. I'm going to take the...
Kind of like your career at ESPN where you sleep with everybody. Hey, I mean...
I'm going to take the over on the drama with that. There's almost an impossibility.
You know what over I'm going to take on you? That you slept with more than 7 men while you were married to Richard Giannotti. I'll take the over on that.
Of that happening. I mean, something doesn't start to go his way. People start blaming him for it. He's going to what? Take the blame?
And that's the problem. The players. You didn't want to come to OTAs. You ain't want to get the noise. If things start going bad, you saw what happened in Denver with Russ.
They weren't.
You got linemen coming at him during the game.
They weren't mandatory, remember?
And with the quarterback, it's always mandatory. With the quarterback, it's always mandatory.
Not if you're Aaron Rodgers, because if you don't work there, you don't have to be there.
Put it like this. Your best...
You're so witty. Were you this witty when you were sleeping with everybody, Joy?
Players. OTAs is for sure voluntary, but we would always say it's voluntary mandatory. Your best players, 100% got to be there. If you consider yourself a leader on the team, it don't matter the position. Quarterback, you're going to be there regardless. If it's a receiver, it's an O-line, whoever, defensive line, your best players got to be there from day one.
How many years did you play in the NFL, TJ?
12.
But he's not signed, Joy. How he going to be able to...
Again, if you did any research, instead of making this about race, Aaron Rodgers told the Steelers up front from the jump, I need more time than usual. I can't be at OTAs because my inner circle, people are sick and have cancer. But that would mean you would have to stop being a piece of garbage for 2 seconds and actually do some research, which Joy Taylor and the rest of this garbage cast is incapable of.
That's fine. He doesn't work there yet.
He don't work there.
He don't work there yet.
You shouldn't
gotta
be working
there. Like,
either.
that's when you a leader of a team, whether you lead vocally or you lead by example, you gotta be there.
Apparently, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you don't, because he wasn't there. And while I
Yeah, it's his white privilege, Joy. That's what it is.
very much understand he did not work there yet, he could have, because they have already had this deal in place. What were they negotiating?
And that's why they got to do what Paul said. They got to start fast.
Yeah,
They start fast, everybody going to be like, yeah, we got here. You start slow, now it's going to be 2 players.
Well, they have a delightful week 1 because they'll be playing the Jets, who are his former team, with Justin Fields, who's the former quarterback.
Is that New York or in Pittsburgh?
It's in New York.
In New York.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. Very.
Listen,
You think he's
the
not going to be
NFL
motivated?
knows what they're doing.
Both sides going to be motivated.
With the schedule.
Aaron Rodgers going to be super motivated because of the way he felt like Aaron Glenn treated him, the
Man,
New York Jets
don't let
treated him.
Mason catch a touchdown in that game and they win.
You
Don't-
gonna,
do
Okay.
not.
I
let
just,
that happen.
if they start fast, then now you got the team, the players, the Cam Haywards that said some negative things at one point. You got them on board. If they start slow,
That's what I'm saying.
it's going to be a problem because Mason Rudolph has had success being a quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not like he's a flunky. He's had success being a starter, winning
I know that's hard for Joy to accept. I wonder why.
record.
Yeah.
And so those first 4 games, the first month, September is very important
They
for the
go
Steelers.
3-1.
Very
They
important.
can get out to a good start. They can get out to. You know what happens when you start playing well.
The
And
tough part of their season is on the
the
back end.
the last 8 weeks, brutal.
That's what it was this past season.
Yeah.
The last 8
And
weeks
and
was
it
brutal.
and it fell apart.
And they got them, yeah.
They might only got 2 wins left.
Really? And it fell apart. Why did it fall apart there, Joy? Because Russell Wilson can't throw the ball anymore. But hey, the Steelers should have kept Russell Wilson and got rid of Aaron Rodgers, right? Even after Aaron Rodgers threw 28 touchdowns last year and threw for 4,000 yards. But hey, we should have kept Russ. Interesting.
In the last 8 weeks. Now that I look at it,
It's
No,
the
you're
same
absolutely right.
thing.
If they start fast, that will help to temper any kind of drama. Because if it goes slow out the gate, it's gonna heat up very quickly.
If it's a fast start without Aaron Rodgers being a catalyst to the fast start, is it still the same?
Yeah, I don't think that matters. Because in Pittsburgh, well, let me say this properly. It used to be about winning. The bottom line was just win. Where I feel like Pittsburgh has lost its way, and this is why this move is very confusing to me, is that the standard used to be Super Bowl. Now it feels like the standard is we just got to win a playoff game, however we can make that happen. And that's not what the Pittsburgh Steelers are.
If this idiot really thinks that the standards is just win the playoff game and that Coach Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers are not trying to win the championship every year, she is just a total idiot that needs to be fired immediately. She doesn't know anything about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Nothing. She's only basing this off of she doesn't like Aaron Rodgers.
But that's why I feel like
Coach Tomlin is not playing for second place or a playoff win. He wants to win it all.
this is the bar has been lowered. Like,
No,
it's
it
just
hasn't.
like, okay, we have winning seasons, and if we get to the playoffs, cool. Yeah, we haven't won a playoff game in a while. Like, playoffs, it was a given we were going to the playoffs. A given. Like, that's not even a question. We'll be in the playoffs. How far in the playoffs are we going? Are we going to the AFC Championship game, or is it the Super Bowl?
I know.
That's not the bar anymore.
Yeah.
So this is very much giving. This is
So she is sitting there and saying the bar for the Steelers is lower and that the goal isn't to win the Super Bowl anymore. And she still has a job. This whole narrative is based off because Aaron Rodgers is signed. That's it. Because she doesn't know anything about the team.
this is giving skinny jeans. Like, this is giving the hair dye doesn't match. Like, you're rich. Just put on a quarter zip and go to Wally's. You don't have to do all that.
But
And this is what the Steelers are giving right now.
If you're in that division, when you play the Pittsburgh Steelers,
That's her take. Like, what the F does that even mean?
they still the Steelers. We used to play them, I
They're
promise
still
you.
the Steelers because their defense is
Man, listen,
solid.
our coaches used to walk into the meeting room, I promise you, like they was playing the game. Like, what y'all nervous for? Like, y'all not even playing. Like,
Yeah, when you played, you were terrified of James Harrison, but whole different topic.
play any other team, they come in the meeting room on Wednesday, it's whatever. We play the Steelers, the energy is different.
Yeah.
They come, it's a 2 chin strap type of game. Like they stay in that regular season game. You ain't say that last week and you ain't gonna say it next week. And so the Steelers, they got this reputation across it, at least when I was playing, they respect it.
Yeah.
And you know it's not gonna be an easy game,
Right.
but I don't know if it's the same from when I played to what they are now because they not the same.
I mean, I think they're still respected, but it's just this. It doesn't feel like the standard is the same.
Them coaches are not walking into the meeting on Wednesday feeling like, hey, we got to play our best game of the season. They not walking in there. It's a different type of energy.
Well, Rodgers will team up with Mike Tomlin, who has been the Steelers coach since 2007. Tomlin has never had a losing season, but
I made my feelings known on Joy Taylor. She should stick to what she knows, sleeping with the old rich white guys that she hates so much, and leave it at that. She should leave the Pittsburgh Steelers names out of her mouth, including Aaron Rodgers. And if she did any research or really followed the team instead of making up rumors based off race, she would know that Aaron Rodgers did absolutely nothing wrong, that he let Coach Tomlin know that people in his inner circle have cancer. She's so classless, that means absolutely nothing to her. Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.